Hi, welcome to Bilingual Tutorial. Today we are discussing types of phrases. So 10 different types of phrases will be discussed. First one, noun phrase. Let's see what's a noun phrase. A noun phrase acts like a noun in a sentence and it is headed by a noun or a pronoun. So you must know what's a noun. Noun is the name of a person, place, animal, thing or an idea. So noun, if it is a naming word, it is said to be noun. See the first example here. My brother is a soldier. That's a sentence given here. You can see a combination of a pronoun and a noun. My brother. That is a noun phrase in the sentence. And it acts as name of a person, my brother. You can substitute this my brother with a name. See the example given below. Madhu is a soldier. So I just substitute a name there as my brother. Madhu is a soldier. Just like that we can substitute names or name for the noun phrases. See the second example. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. Here 5 little monkeys is the subject of this sentence. And it is the noun phrase too. 5 little monkeys is the noun phrase in this sentence. And we can see it's a combination of a numeral determiner 5 and a quantifier determiner little and plural form of noun monkey. So it is the combination of determiner and a noun. And it is referring to group of animals. So it is the name of animal. See the third example. My shop is in the town. There you can see two noun phrases. My shop is one phrase and in the town is another phrase. And my shop, it says about name of a thing. My shop, a pronoun and a noun. And in the town is referring to the name of a place. In the town. Where is the shop? It's in the town. It is referring to the place. And it is a combination of a preposition in and an article the and a noun. So it is a combination of preposition, article and noun. So some modifiers plus noun. See the fourth example. The table looks clean. That table. So we are referring to again a thing. That table. That table looks clean. In the sentence, that table is a noun phrase. Here that is a pronoun and table is a noun. So it is the combination of a pronoun and a noun. Then see the fifth example. True love always wins. True love. True love is the subject here. So it is referring to an abstract idea. True love is the abstract idea. And we know a subject must be a noun. And here in the sentence, a noun is true love. So it is a noun phrase referring to idea. And it is a combination of an adjective, true, and the noun, love. Then see the next example, sixth one. Playing cricket is a happiness. So subject of the sentence is playing cricket and object is a happiness. So you can see two noun phrases are there. Playing cricket is the subject. It is referring to name of an action. Then a happiness is the name of an idea. So there are two noun phrases in the sentence. Playing cricket is a happiness. See the first noun phrase in the sentence, playing cricket. It's a combination of a gerund, playing, and a noun, cricket. Then the second noun phrase in the same sentence, a happiness, is a combination of an article, a, and happiness, the noun. Okay, then we can discuss the form of a noun phrase. Noun phrases can be formed in different ways. First one, it is combination of a determiner and a noun. See the given example. Those houses are very expensive. Those is a determiner and houses is a noun. So altogether these two words make a noun phrase. Then see the second example. Combination of an adjective and a noun. Our closest friend had just bought a new car. There, our is a determiner, then closest is the adjective, then friends is a noun. Then third case, it is a quantifier plus determiner plus a noun. See the example given here. All those children are waiting for food. They all is a quantifier and those is a determiner and children is the noun. Okay, then see the word order in a noun phrase. See, if a determiner is there, it must be written in the beginning. So, a determiner, then if there is an adjective, it must be there in the second position. Then comes, if there is some more adjective or a noun as a modifier, that should be written there. Then comes the main noun. For example, you can see here, a heavy iron gate. Here, a is a determiner and heavy is an adjective. Then iron is a modifier. Then gate is the main noun. In short, the form of noun phrase, it is a modifier plus noun. And see the position of modifiers. Some modifiers comes before the noun in the noun phrase and some comes after the noun in the noun phrase. See the first one, an article always comes in the beginning. That means before noun. Then a possessive noun like Ritas, Aruns will also come in the beginning of the noun phrase just before the main noun. Then possessive pronouns like his, her, their, your, they'll also come in the beginning of the noun phrase just before the noun, main noun. Then the adjectives like that, big, beautiful will also come in the beginning of the noun phrase. Then the participles, both past and present participle will also come in the beginning of a noun phrase, just like trained or barking. Prepositions are also used in the beginning of a noun phrase, just like on the bench, in the front. Then any determiner can be there in the beginning of a noun phrase, and some of the determiners and their examples are given here. Just go through that. These can be also there coming in the beginning of a noun phrase. Let's see the modifiers which comes after the noun. See the prepositional phrases, participle phrases, infinitive phrases. All these phrases will come after the noun as a modifier for the noun phrase. Okay, then second, appositive phrase. See, what's an appositive phrase? It is an interrupting definition about the noun. So it's an explanation given in addition about the noun. It says something more about the noun. The word appositive is evolved from the word oppose, which means place side by side. An appositive phrase is a phrase which kept along with or side by side with a noun. An appositive phrase is explained as an interrupting definition. So, it's an extra thing added to the sentence as an additional information about the noun. So, the sentence will be complete if we take out this appositive phrase from the sentence. See the example given below, it will be clear. See the first example. Sachin Tendulkar, a very famous cricketer, has resigned. Here in the sentence, a very famous cricketer is the appositive phrase. It says something more about the noun Sachin Tendulkar. We are getting the information that Sachin Tendulkar is a famous cricketer. Just remove this appositive phrase from the sentence. Sachin Tendulkar has resigned. It's a complete sentence. So, the sentence will be complete if we remove the appositive phrase, a very famous cricketer. In this sentence, Sachin Tendulkar, the noun, is a famous man. So, anyone who knows Sachin Tendulkar will be aware that he is a famous cricketer. So, the appositive phrase written here, a very famous cricketer, is a non-essential appositive phrase. There is no need for such an explanation, a very famous cricketer. See the second example. Ravi, our postman, gave me a letter. In this sentence, our postman is the appositive phrase. It says some more information about the noun Ravi. So, Ravi, our postman, gave me a letter. We can take out this appositive phrase, our postman. Then the sentence is, Ravi gave me a letter. It's a complete sentence. But here we can see, we must get our postman into the sentence to get more information about who is Mr. Ravi. The sentence Ravi gave me a letter. It is a complete sentence and it has a meaning too. But if we add the suppositive phrase our postman, it gives clarity to the meaning. We are getting a clear image that Mr. Ravi is a postman and he has given a letter. So there is no confusion who is Mr. Ravi. So in this sentence, our postman, the positive phrase, is an essential appositive phrase. Then one more point about appositive phrase is its punctuation. See, appositive phrases are always enclosed in commas. See the examples. In first example, the positive phrase, a very famous cricketer, is separated from the rest of the sentence using commas. One comma in the beginning and another in the end. Then see the second one, Ravi, our postman gave me a letter. There, our postman is the positive phrase. It is separated using two commas, one in the beginning and another in the end. Then if an appositive phrase comes in the end of a sentence, it can be separated using a comma in the beginning and a full stop in the end of the sentence. And that's all about a positive phrase. Then third, it is prepositional phrase. See the explanation of prepositional phrase. A prepositional phrase begins with a preposition. So you must know what are the prepositions. See the examples for preposition. In, on, at, with, before, after, under, above, for, since, etc. Some more prepositions are there. Then object of preposition will be a noun or pronoun. Then it may consist of some more modifiers. It functions as an adjective or an adverb in a sentence. See the examples given below. A cuckoo on the tree is singing a song. In this sentence, the portion beginning with preposition on is a prepositional phrase. On the tree is the prepositional phrase and it says something more about the noun cuckoo. Therefore, it's an adjective. Anything which explains something more about the noun, it's an adjective. And here, prepositional phrase acts as an adjective. See the second example. She always sings in a loud voice. In the sentence, the prepositional phrase begins with the preposition in. In a loud voice is the prepositional phrase and it says something more about the verb sings. So we are getting the answer to the question, how does she sing? In a loud voice. So in a loud voice explains something more about the verb sings and it is an adverb. In this sentence, prepositional phrase acts as an adverb. Okay, then we can discuss second and third point. Object of preposition will be a noun or a pronoun and it may consist of other modifiers. Okay, we can discuss this point with the help of the examples we have already discussed. See the first one, on the tree is the prepositional phrase. There the preposition is on and the is the article, that is a modifier, and tree is a noun. So it is preposition, article and a noun. Then the second one, in a loud voice. There in is the preposition, a is again an article, then loud is an adjective and voice is a noun. So here it is combination of a preposition, then article, then adjective and a noun. So those two rules are satisfied. Hope you understood prepositional phrase, its structure and its functions. Its structure is, it will begin with a preposition and its functions are, it acts as an adjective or an adverb in a sentence. Next it is gerund phrase. The term gerund may not be familiar to you. So let's discuss what is a gerund. A gerund is ing form or progressive form of verb. But it works as a noun in a sentence. We have seen it's a form, progressive form or ing form of verb. But what function it does in a sentence, it's the function of a noun. So in form it appears like a verb, but in function it is a noun. That is a speciality of the word gerund. See the example. Teaching is my passion. Here teaching, it seemed to be like a verb, but actually in this sentence you can identify it's a noun and the subject of the sentence, because about what we speak in the sentence, it is about teaching. Then see the second example. Smoking kills you. Here also smoking in appearance it seems like a verb, but in function it's a noun. And we can see it's the subject of the sentence. About what we speak in the sentence, it's about smoking. So here we can understand gerund is a word. In form it appears like a verb, but in function it is a noun. Okay, then see what's a gerund phrase. A phrase starts with a gerund and works as a noun in a sentence is a gerund phrase. Just like a gerund phrase also acts as a noun in a sentence and it begins with a gerund or ing form of the verb. See the examples given below. I enjoy walking in the garden. Here, walking in the garden is the gerund phrase, is the direct object of the sentence. So, first function of gerund phrase, it is direct object of the sentence. Walking in the garden comes after the verb enjoy, and we know if a noun comes after the verb, that is object. So here in this sentence, walking in the garden is a noun and it comes after verb, so it is a direct object in this sentence. Then see the second example. Playing with my kids makes me happy. Here, playing with my kids is the gerund phrase, and we can understand about what the sentence speak. It's about playing with my kids. So it is the subject of this sentence. So here gerund phrase acts as a subject. Okay, then see the next example. Never be scared of making mistakes. Here making mistakes is a gerund phrase and it acts as an object of the preposition of. Just after of it comes and it is a noun too. So it is the object of the preposition of. So here we had discussed three functions of a gerund phrase. First function it acts as direct object in a sentence. Then second function it acts as subject in a sentence. Then third function it acts as object of preposition. Fifth it is verb phrase. See what is a verb phrase. A verb phrase is a combination of main verb, that is action verb, and an auxiliary verb, that is a helping verb. So the format of verb phrase is auxiliary plus verb. So to understand verb phrase, you must know what are the auxiliaries. There are two types of auxiliaries, primary auxiliary, then modal auxiliary. Do auxiliary, be auxiliary and have auxiliaries are primary auxiliaries, then some modal auxiliaries too. Then the term main verb means a meaningful word which shows an action. Example, read, write, listen, run, jump, dance, etc. Then form of a verb phrase is an auxiliary plus verb. But for the case of do auxiliaries like do, does and did, there is a change. We couldn't say them separate from the verb. It will be along with the verb. See the examples given here. She writes a letter. They play cricket. I went to Mumbai. In these examples, the verb phrase is a single word. We couldn't see auxiliary separate from the verb. See the examples. She writes a letter. In this sentence, writes is a verb phrase. It is a combination of does plus write. Does plus write is writes. Then second one, they play cricket. Their play is the verb phrase and it is a combination of do plus play. Do plus play is play itself. Then the third one, I went to Mumbai. There, went is the verb phrase. It is go plus did. Go plus did is went. So here in these three examples, we couldn't separate auxiliary from the verb. This is applicable only for the do auxiliary plus verb combination. Okay, see the case of other auxiliaries, that is be or have or modal auxiliary plus verb. See the examples given here. I am coming with you. In the sentence, am coming is the verb phrase. It is a combination of an auxiliary plus verb. Auxiliary am plus coming, the verb form. And it is a be auxiliary. Then see the second example. That will be a good decision. Here will be is the verb phrase and will is the auxiliary and be is the verb. So will the modal auxiliary plus verb form be. Then third one, she has been teaching English for 10 years. Here has is the auxiliary and be in V3. Then teaching as ing form of the verb. So have auxiliary has, then been plus teaching. It is also a combination of auxiliary plus verb. Then the fourth one, he can read Latin. Here modal auxiliary can plus read the V1 form. In all these examples, we can see an auxiliary plus verb combination. That is be auxiliary in the first example and modal auxiliary in the second example, then have auxiliary in the third example and modal auxiliary again in fourth example. So in all these verb phrases, auxiliary plus verb combination can be seen. Okay, note this additional point about verb phrase. A verb phrase get interrupted in negatives and interrogative sentences. See the example given below. There will not be any class tomorrow. Here in the sentence, will be is the verb phrase and it got interrupted with the word not because it is a negative sentence. Then the second example, Kamal did not attend the meeting. Here, did attend is the verb phrase and it got interrupted with the word not because it is a negative sentence. Then the third example, did you write the homework? Here, did write is the verb phrase and it got interrupted with the pronoun you because it is a question. Then fourth one, do you read the answer? Here, do read is the verb phrase and it got interrupted with the word you, a pronoun, and this sentence is a question. One more point should be noted. Do auxiliary gets separated from the verb and is evident in questions and negatives. See, in the beginning we had discussed do auxiliary couldn't be separated from the verb. It will be along with the verb. But in the case of a negative sentence or in the case of a question, it can be separated. See the examples given here. In the second example, Kamal did not attend the meeting. Here, did attend is the verb phrase. And in this sentence, did got separated from the verb attend. And it's because it's a negative sentence. Then the third example, did you write the homework? Here also did got separated from the verb write and it's only because it is a question. Then fourth example, do you read the answer? There, do got separated from the verb read and it's only because it's a question. What is an adverb phrase? An adverb phrase is a phrase that modifies a verb and it says how, when, where, why, or what extent something happens or something is done. So, just like an adverb phrase also modifies a verb in a sentence. Let's see the examples. Okay, the first example is Usha ran with great speed. Here, with great speed is the adverb phrase and it says something more about the verb ran. And it is also giving answer to the question, how did Usha run? Usha ran with great speed. Here we are getting answer to the question, how did Usha run? And that answer is the adverb phrase. Then see the second example. The coin fell on this spot. In the sentence, on this spot is the adverb phrase. And it says something more about the verb fell, or it adds something more to the verb fell. So we are getting answer to the question, where did the coin fall? And it's on this spot. We are getting the answer, it's on this spot. Okay, then see the third example. We must start in a short time. Here, in a short time is the adverb phrase, and it adds something to the verb start. So it is an adverb phrase. It is adding something more to the verb, and we are getting answer to the question, when we must start. Then the last example given here, it is do things to make yourself happy. Here, to make yourself happy is the adverb phrase, and it says something more about the verb do. And it answers the question, why do you do things? It is to make yourself happy. The answer we get, it is the adverb phrase, to make yourself happy. Okay, we can discuss one more point about adverb phrase. An infinitive phrase or a prepositional phrase can also be an adverb phrase. See the examples given here. The same examples, with that we can identify this point. With great speed, it's a prepositional phrase. On the spot is again a prepositional phrase. Then one more prepositional phrase you can see, in a short time. So a prepositional phrase can be an adverb phrase. Then the last one, to make yourself happy. That's an adverb phrase. At the same time, it's an infinitive phrase too, because it starts with to infinitive. Then participle phrase. What is a participle? A participle is a verb form, acts as an adjective in a sentence. There are two kinds of participles, present participle and past participle. Present participle is the ing form of a verb, and past participle is ed form. Usually it ends with ed, sometimes with d, t, en and n. So these are the two kinds of participle forms, present participle and past participle. And we have studied gerund form. There also it was ing form. Then let's see what's the difference between present participle and gerund form. Present participle always acts as an adjective in a sentence, and gerund acts as a noun in a sentence. This is the main difference between present participle and gerund. Then see what is a participle phrase. A participle phrase begins with a participle, can be present participle or past participle, and it acts as an adjective in a sentence. See the examples given here. First example, there are two sentences. Enjoy the beauty of the tree, it is blowing in the wind. These are the two sentences. We can combine them together using a participle phrase. Enjoy the beauty of the tree, blowing in the wind. Here the second sentence, it is blowing in the wind, we changed that sentence into a participle phrase beginning with ing form or present participle. So we changed that it is and made it as a participle phrase, present participle phrase. In this sentence, enjoy the beauty of the tree, blowing in the wind. Here, blowing in the wind is a participle phrase beginning with present participle, and it acts as an adjective to the noun tree. What kind of tree? A tree blowing in the wind. So here, blowing in the wind acts as an adjective for the noun tree. See the next example. I can smell popcorn roasting in the kitchen. Here, roasting in the kitchen is a participle phrase. It acts as an adjective for the noun popcorn. What kind of popcorn? Popcorn roasting in the kitchen. In first two examples, we have seen the use of present participle in a participle phrase. And now we can discuss the use of past participle, that is V3 form, in participle phrase. Here again two sentences are given. We need to join them using a past participle phrase. See the examples. This is a good book and it is written by my friend. These are the two sentences. This is a good book. It is written by my friend. We can combine them. This is a good book written by my friend. Here we can see we combined the two sentences given above and made a new sentence. Here in second sentence we removed the first portion and we combined the past participle form written to the first sentence. So this is a good book written by my friend. Here written by my friend is a past participle phrase and it modifies the noun book. So it's an adjective to the noun book. Then see the next example. The museum destroyed by a war was never rebuilt. Here the museum is the noun and destroyed by a war is the past participle phrase, and it explains destroyed by the war explains something more about the noun museum, so it is an adjective. So these are the examples you can see for past participle phrases. Now we can differentiate present participle from gerund phrase. See, a present participle always acts as an adjective, but a gerund phrase acts as a noun. Gerund phrase can be replaced with a pronoun, but a present participle phrase cannot be replaced with a pronoun. Clear it with the help of example given here. I enjoyed walking in the garden. See, we can replace a gerund phrase with a pronoun. So I am going to replace the gerund phrase given here, walking in the garden, with a pronoun it. I enjoyed it. So it's clear, it's possible to replace a gerund phrase with a pronoun. Then take the case of a present participle phrase. I can smell popcorn roasting in the kitchen. There, roasting in the kitchen is a present participle phrase. I am going to replace it with a pronoun it. I can smell popcorn it. Surely the sentence is wrong. It does not make any sense. So it is understood present participle phrase cannot be replaced with a pronoun. Next it is infinitive phrase. We can start with infinitives before we explain infinitive phrases. See, what are infinitives? There are two types of infinitives, two infinitives and bare infinitives. Two infinitives are to plus verb. For example, to write, to read, to speak, to cook, etc. To plus verb is to infinitive. But bare infinitive in form it just seems like V1. It is also called zero infinitive. And when we use bare infinitive, there are some conditions. See, bare infinitives we often use with some verbs like feel, hear, see, watch, let, dare, need, etc. See the examples, then it will be clear. First example, I feel love for him. Here, the verb is feel. So you can see the list given above. Feel comes under that particular verb with which we use bare infinitive. So the next word, love, is a bare infinitive. Then the second example, I heard him sing a song. Here, heard is the verb, and along with that comes the bare infinitive sing. Then the third example, they watch him play. There, watch is the verb, and along with this watch, play comes as the bare infinitive. Then the next example, let him go. There, let is the verb and go is the bare infinitive. Then the last one under this heading, dare not talk with him. There, dare is the verb, so talk is the bare infinitive. The next condition is, with modal auxiliaries, we'll use bare infinitives only. Modal auxiliaries like will, would, shall, should, may, might, etc. Along with these modal auxiliaries, we'll always use bare infinitives. See the examples given here. I'll come with you. Here, will is the modal auxiliary and come bare infinitive. Then second one, she would see the doctor. There, would is the modal auxiliary and see bare infinitive. Then the third one, they may come. Here, may is the modal auxiliary and come bare infinitive. Okay, then third condition, with some conjunctions. So here some conjunctions you can see. Along with these conjunctions, only bare infinitives we use. The conjunctions are had better, would rather, no sooner than, rather than. Here one example is given. You had better go with him. See the conjunction had better is used here. Along with had better, bare infinitive go is used. Okay, then let's move on to the main topic, infinitive phrase. What is an infinitive phrase? An infinitive phrase begins with an infinitive. It can be bare infinitive or to infinitive. It functions as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb in a sentence. Okay, we can discuss it with the help of the examples given here. First example, to write a poetry requires imagination. Here, to write is an infinitive. So that is an infinitive phrase. To write a poetry is an infinitive phrase which acts as a noun. And the subject of the sentence too. Because about what we talk in the sentence, it is to write a poetry. It requires imagination. So, to write a poetry in this sentence is a noun, the subject of the sentence, and an infinitive phrase too. Then the second example, I'll always have a friend to talk to me. Here, to talk to me is the infinitive phrase because it begins with an infinitive to talk, to infinitive. Then it explains something more about a friend. So, it's an adjective. Then the third example, Mary ran to get the bus. Here, to get the bus is the infinitive phrase and it says something more about the verb ran. So, it is an adverb. To get the bus given here as an adverb for the verb ran. Example 4 and 5 explains usage of bare infinitive in infinitive phrases. First one, that is the fourth one. She watched me make the cake. Here, watched is the verb and make the cake is the infinitive phrase. So, make is a bare infinitive in that phrase. And it acts as an adverb for the verb watched. Make the cake act as an adverb for the verb watched. Then fifth example, I saw him slap the child. Here, so is the verb and slap the child is the bare infinitive phrase because it starts with the bare infinitive slap. And slap the child adds something more to the verb so. So it is an adverb too. So in short, what we can understand, these two bare infinitive phrases act as an adverb in these sentences. Then there is a chance for us to get confused with the propositional phrase beginning with to and infinitive phrase beginning with to. And here I have written the difference between infinitive phrase and propositional phrase. So clarify your doubts. Let's see what is an infinitive phrase. What's the difference it has with the propositional phrase? To plus verb is infinitive phrase with to infinitive, So to read, to write, it will be just like that. But take the case of prepositional phrase. To plus noun verb, it will be to my room. Here, just after to, it's a pronoun. My room is given there. It's not a verb. So noun verb can be seen. Then the next one, to the colors. There also, just after to, it's a determiner. It's not a verb, it's a noun verb. See the examples, then it will be clear. My son wanted to find an answer. There, wanted to find. To find is to plus a verb. But take the case of prepositional phrase. The man standing near to the tree is my friend. So to the tree. So after to, it's not the verb, it is a determiner and a noun. So I think you understood the difference between prepositional phrase with to and to infinitive phrase. Then adjectival phrase or adjective phrase. Let's see what's an adjective phrase. An adjective phrase does the function of an adjective. So it acts as an adjective in a sentence. See the examples given below. It shows what's the difference between an adjective and an adjective phrase. The first one, the morning post was late. Here, morning is an adjective for the noun post. Morning adds something more or it explains at which time the post comes. It's in the morning. Then the same example is written in the form of an adjective phrase. The post in the morning was late. There, in the morning is an adjective phrase. See, in the morning explains the same thing, something more about post, but it's a collection of words. It's a combination of a preposition, a determiner, and a noun. In the first example, an adjective is a single word, morning. Morning is a single word used here as an adjective. But see the second example, nobody likes a bad-tempered person. Here, bad-tempered is the adjective. So we can understand sometimes collection of words, more than one words can be also adjectives. But it is sure that there won't be a preposition. Nobody likes a bad-tempered person. There, bad-tempered is the adjective, and we can substitute this bad-tempered with an adjective phrase. See the next example. Nobody likes a person with bad temper. There, with bad temper is adjective phrase. It begins with a preposition. See in which all ways we can write an adjective phrase is given here. Sometimes a prepositional phrase can be an adjective phrase. Sometimes a participle phrase can be an adjective phrase. And an infinitive phrase also can be an adjective phrase. Okay, let's discuss this point with the help of the examples given here. First one, a prepositional phrase acts as an adjective phrase. See the example. Billa likes food with spice. There in the sentence, with spice as adjective phrase. And it begins with the preposition with. So, it's a prepositional phrase. And at the same time, with spice, the phrase adds something more about the noun food. So, it's an adjective too. So, a word or a group of words which modifies a noun is said to be an adjective. So, without any doubt, we can say with spice as an adjective phrase which explains the noun food. Then the next situation, a participle phrase can also be an adjective sometimes. See the example given here. The man standing near to the tree is my friend. Here, standing near to the tree is a participle phrase because it begins with present participle standing, the ing form of stand. Standing near to the tree is a participle phrase. And we can understand standing near to the tree explains something more about the man. So group of words which explain something more about the noun is said to be an adjective. So here standing near to the tree explains more about man and it is an adjective phrase too. Then next situation, sometimes infinitive phrase acts as adjective phrases. See the example given here. I don't know a person to trust blindly. Here, to trust blindly is an infinitive phrase because it begins with to infinitive to trust. And to trust blindly explains something more about a person. A person to trust blindly. So, we know a group of words, if it explains something more about a noun, it is said to be an adjective phrase. So here, to trust blindly is an infinitive phrase as well as an adjective phrase. 10th one or last one, it is absolute phrase. An absolute phrase modifies or gives more details about the main clause. It functions as a modifier for the main clause. Then we can discuss the form of absolute phrase. Absolute phrase begins with a noun or a pronoun followed by a participle. This participle can be V3 or ing and followed by modifier or object. So in short, the form of absolute phrase, it is a noun plus participle, that is V3 or ing plus object. Then do you remember the explanation given to the phrases? Phrases are a group of words without finite verb or subject verb agreement. But the form of the absolute phrase will confuse us because a noun and a verb element is there, especially when after noun if the V3 form comes. But please note, there won't be subject verb agreement. From that we can identify it's not a sentence, it is an absolute phrase. A noun will be and followed by the noun participle form, then followed by that the object. Okay, we can discuss it with the help of the examples. See the first example. Max held on to the ball, his fingers squeezing it tightly. In this sentence, his fingers squeezing it tightly is the absolute phrase. And from this you can understand his fingers is the noun, and followed by this noun there is a present participle form squeezing, and followed by the present participle it is modifiers it and tightly. So the form of an absolute phrase is satisfied and there is no subject verb agreement. Then see the second example. Tom stood with her arms folded across the chest. Here in this sentence, arms folded across the chest is the absolute phrase. And you can see arms is a noun, folded is a past participle form of the verb. See, it is not present participle, it is past participle form of the verb, and across the chest is the object. So here also absolute phrase and its condition is satisfied. Noun followed by the noun there is past participle, and followed by the past participle there is the object. And it functions as a modifier for the clause Tom stood with her. So that's all about absolute phrase. Thanks for watching.